Right now I'm going to show you how base meter option works. So it's really not so easy. It's really a little bit complicated, but uh, let's see how we can handle it. We want to use base meter without any rules related to say meter rules and so on. For example, we have meter test 10 dash underscore 2, and here we have initial reading. Here we have initial reading equals 0, and here we have something like additional value to this reading. Here we have to select our base meter, and here, as usual, we have to specify base interval for this meter. And what we're gonna do next, we will simulate it, and as usual we have a suggested start date, and we have a for 30-day horizon, and we have suggested start date for every 5 days, because our meter was set up like 20 hours a day, and so 100 hours equal 5 days. So if we start from today, March 1st, so in 5 days it will be 6 March, and so on. So this is a simple case. If we want to adjust, or if we want to shift for some reason our next suggested start date, or at our first work order, we may specify here, for example, 40 hours, and our work order will shift to next 40 hours. Let me show you. 40 hours in our case, it will be 2 days, so it will be not 6 but 8 March. And let me make this situation a little bit more complicated. For example, we have initial reading, and we will go to history and disable initial reading, and then make our initial reading on 60. Yeah, initial reading is 60. And let's simulate it. Yep. So we have initial reading on 60, right? And but we have our some value, shift value for 40. So our initial reading tend us to make our work order earlier, but this value shift us to make our work order later. This is two opposite forces that forces will was compete each other. So let me show you some like my drawing. And I tried to understand what does it mean. So this is standard functionality, like base interval times interval multiply. Base interval here we will multiply on a interval multiplier here. So we have a base interval 100, and so in our case it equals 100. Okay, so initial reading in our case, if we will make initial reading more greater than 0, so it tend us to make our work orders error, because if if we set here 0, so and the current date is March 1st. So next date when we have to make some maintenance will be March 6th. But if our initial reading was, for example, 40, so it means we have to, our next maintenance must be in 60 hours, like something here, and 100 will be here. Okay, but if we specify this value, its affect to our shifts next to this date. So it's a little bit puzzle, but how it works. So let me show you again. For example, here we will back it to the 0 and click simulate. So next work order will start at 3rd, because our initial reading 40. Oh, 60. Sorry, 60. So in 40 hours we have to make some maintenance. This is 2 days. So yeah, today is first day of spring, and in 2 days we have to make test activity 10. So that's all. I think we can discuss about it later, but basically this is how it works.